Okay, so as I mentioned, or I did mention, this is actually not an unboxing video. So what I'm going to just do is just to show you what the contents are. I want to use this in a quick project here. So I thought you might want to see how it comes shipped. So what this is actually those Chinese diesel heaters. And they're parking heater, I guess is what they're called. And so as you can see, this is it comes with a manual. But I actually have one, and I want to put another one in the circuit. So we got a rather slim but large 10-liter tank. And then get this box out of the way. So we'll pull these out here one at a time. So the heater itself. Oops. Hope I didn't get a strike for content match. Yeah, don't set your things down on top of your keyboard. That makes it nice. So this is the control panel, and this is the fuel pump. We'll have a look at those in a bit. And then a big box of accessories. And these are the accessories. Now I need to find my knife. Oh, here we go. And I think that this camera doesn't have autofocus in the record mode for video. Only the Canon SLR. But I don't know. So it's the vent routing for the heat coming out of the diesel heater that will actually heat the area. And this is the exhaust pipe or header or whatever you want to call it. This is for the intake for the combustion chamber. These are the cables that connect the diesel heater to the power and to the control panel. Some not very flexible pipe tubing, I guess, for the diesel fuel. This is the vent routing, so you can point it to the area you want. And this is the muffler, which I'm actually not going to be using. A bunch of hardware and an inlet silencer. So basically, I guess it's kind of a silencer slash filter. So big particles don't go into the combustion chamber. And then the plate for the mounting plate for the diesel heater itself. And this is the diesel heater, and like I said, I do have two of these now. This is the second one. And see if I can zoom in on this without something fell. Is it washed out? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Try to focus. I'm just dropping everything left and right here. Okay, so this one, as you can see, fuzzy. It's 8 kilowatt. This is the important part. So this is an 8 kilowatt heater, rated at 12 volts, and it consumes 40 watt. I guess during operational. And this is the plug that connects to the heater itself. I'm sorry, to the cabling, which in turn connects to the control panel, which I seem to have misplaced. Anyway, what I want to do is I want to connect both of these up and actually make a rather large heater. Now why, you say, when you got electric heaters or propane heaters? I actually don't like the propane heater. That adds too much moisture into the air due to the combustion process. I'm sure you can look that up and see why. I'll explain later in a future video, but for now it's just trying to justify to myself actually why I'm going this route. Electric heaters, to get the amount of heat output in a very large garage, or rather this is a 2-car garage, to heat it up, you consume a lot of power. So economically speaking, that's not very good. So this one, 8 kilowatt, and then when you do the math, it's roughly about 27,000 BTU. I'll do the math here in a bit. And so when you get two of them together, around 54,000 BTU, roughly. Again, when we look at it in a little bit more detail, we'll do some math and see what the actual heat output is. And as you can see, the exhaust here is just a 1 inch, I believe it's 1 1/4, but I'll double check that also and let you know. But this is the exhaust, so I actually route this out under the garage door so I can keep the garage door closed, and it does an adequate job. One, let's say, could heat the garage up. Actually, the working area that I'm working in, it heats it up to about comfortable. When it's outside is let's say 40 degrees, it'll heat it up to good 65 in the garage. So the problem is it takes a long time to get to that temperature. So I'm thinking with two of these, we'll definitely be pumping out a little bit more heat in the garage. So I wanted to just share this with you now, and we'll get into what we're actually going to do with it here in a few moments. For you and for me, it might be a couple of days. So see you in a bit. Well, okay everybody, so today, as I showed you on the unboxing, so we're going to try to add this one, together with this one, which you can't see. Anyway, there's two of these, so I'm going to make a quick frame, and then we'll put these together to see what they look like. One point that I should bring is, of course, like I said, we have this is my workspace. So I do have a propane heater. It's actually not a propane heater, it's something else, but we'll talk about that later. And so this is the space that I have to work in. It's not a very big space, but it's a 2-car garage that's obviously filled. So this is what we're trying to heat up, and right now it is 18 or 19 degrees outside. It's pretty cold. I had the one heater working. Let's see if you can see that here. Yeah, I had this one heater working, and now we're going to try to get the second working, and yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to use these controls. So let's go ahead and set you guys up in the stand, and just do a quick video on putting this thing together. All right, thank you. So I actually made a stand for the one unit a while back. So what I'm going to do is actually just cut it from here and then extend it. It has 2 plates, and we'll put those plates onto a couple of L brackets that was used and welded. And yes, the welding is pretty darn bad, but what the heck, it's a home garage, we're goofing off. So we'll cut that up now and then put that together, and I'll bring you when I'm ready to do some welding. Okay, I said I'll bring you back for welding, and so I do want to warn you, I don't know how loud it's going to be with the mic so close to this, so please do take note if you're wearing headphones and turn down. So we'll just cut these in half and then go from there. It's not straight. You get the point. I'll cut that up and then we'll get ready to do some welding back together. Okay, so sorry about that noise. I realized it was loud at the time. So what we're going to do is now take these two plates that came with the unit and combine them so we can use this as the spacing template when we put these together. Now there's I believe it's Dylan McCool. He's a YouTuber that actually does a bunch of tests with these diesel heaters. I think I alluded in the opening, I don't want to call it an unboxing video, I alluded to why I prefer the diesel heater. So for example, now in the background my my propane heater is working as, you know, temporary to this, and I'll tell you, this is the smell in here, the kind of gives me like a headache and such, so I'm not a big fan of it. Anyway, this is just temporary, just so I can use this as a template. So basically the idea now is we'll take these two stands, we'll put these here, secure them, and then I'll make a kind of a support under it, and then I'll actually bring you back when we do that. So for now, because it's noisy and still don't have the videography as well as I want, but you get the idea. So I'll bring you back in a bit when I'm ready to put this back together. Alright, so I guess apparently I didn't save a certain part of the video. I was just showing when I was cutting this up, but basically, oops, this is where the heaters will stand. Now, of course, you may ask, I'm going to answer the questions in a bit, why I actually go this route and not the propane heater, although the propane heater does heat a lot better right now, I'll tell you that, and these are loud, but we'll get to that. So this is the way it's at, and I guess I should show you the area that I'm actually trying to heat now that it's I lost that other video. So basically this is the area. It's about yeah, this is what I call my workshop, and it's about, you know, 2-car garage, and I think I showed it to you, but I'll show it to you again here. This is the current propane heating that I'm using. That's actually not a heater, that's something else. I have a video on that coming soon. But so as we're working on this thing here, now we'll just kind of continue putting that together. I think, let me show you the heaters again one more time. So this is the original heater that was on it, on the one side, and then, as you know, we did the unboxing of this one here. So now we're going to put them together, go through some of the calculations on what they do. And ironically, today I did see a video posted by Dylan McCool, I believe. I'll check in a second and tell you. And he actually does this is 8 kilowatt. He does I don't know what you want to call it, some sort of a comparison on why it's not an 8 kilowatt. We'll get to that later in this video as well. So let me know. What I'm going to do is connect. Again, the first part of the video was lost, so I'm going to connect these I cut them in half. This was just for one, this stand. I'm going to make a support here, from here, maybe in the middle here, or yeah, just probably one flat iron in the middle here. Connect these two up, and I'll bring you back, maybe show you some of my welding skills. All right, see you in a little bit. All right, so do a little bit of welding here if I had room. There we go. Ouch. So measure this up again. Yeah, this is not something perfect. I'm not trying to make this look pretty. It's just something functional that I want to get done here. I need to turn the heat up a little bit. Just... She's not going anywhere. And we'll do the same to the other side. Double check real quick distance. I don't know how the distances get so far off of each other. And yes, it does bounce around when it's on. All right. Cracking it in place here. Yep. Okay, so that's that. Let's see. Yeah, strong. That's all we need right now. And it doesn't wobble. That's right. I actually will eventually put some screws on here and to set it down, but it actually turned out better than I was expecting. So I'll just clean up a little bit of these welds and think about a support bracket across here. Probably just put one just down the middle here so I don't touch the exhaust and the intake port. But let me think about that a bit and I'll bring it back when I figure it out. Okay, so now I've cut this small inch flat stock, and I've marked the holes, and then actually I tapped this, so I'll tap this one as well. So this way it has a little bit more rigidity. Great. Got that one, but didn't get that one. Alright, we'll use. I can't find it. Okay. Okay, great. Perfect. So I'll drill these out now. And I'll actually tap them, and then we'll put it in there. And then we'll weld it in place. Alright, give me a few. I'll bring it back. Okay, so these are actually, the bolts I have on hand are actually metric. But I don't have a metric drill bit set, so these are going to be M5 bolts, 5mm. So I'll drill this 5/32, I believe, the drill bit here, and then hopefully that'll tap it. If I need to go larger, I'll go one step larger. Okay. Let me get the taps real quick. Yes, that was 5/32, by the way. Get a little bit of oil. Where's the oil? And yes, I know I'm about to do something that most of the real purist machinists probably cringe at, and that's using my drill on a low speed setting and putting it in a clutch mode so that if it does bind, it'll actually slip before breaking. This is a 3-piece it's a 3-piece tap set that actually has a smaller grade steps to get to the final. That was the first, and I'm actually just gonna go straight to the last bit now because I'm curious if it's going to work. I think I actually heard the clutch kick in there a couple times. And I think we're good. Let's grab a couple screws here. These M5s. And we'll just test it out real quick. Let me bring it close to you guys so you can see. So, okay. I got something on my hand as well, so I get the best of grips. Okay, so you can see that goes in. Yeah, I should have cleaned it up, but I didn't. So they both go in. So now what we'll do is we'll temporarily put this one in place. Where's my drill? Oops. Yeah. It doesn't matter how much space you have, you never have enough. All right, let's see. Does that fit? Awesome. That one worked out great. And I'll put this one in. It's not the, it's actually not the, well, we just tap with this bolt is actually bad. So just grab another one. And we'll just re-secure that one in place. And that's all she wrote. Great. So now, you know what, I could have actually put this plate in place while I was doing that. That way I could have centered the outside. I'm just going to put one crossbar. I'm not going to put two. I don't think I need it. But since the welder is here and it's on, I might as well go ahead and weld that in place real quick. And then this way that will be secure in place, and it will help with the overall stability. Not that I'm looking for something crazy. Let me try to fix that a little bit. It's alright, it's just a little bit is this the one that has the, yeah, that was the threaded one, so they're both threaded, so trying to catch it at the same time. The threads, it was a little bit, I was worried about it, but we're okay. Let's get the hat on. Hat, helmet, whatever. And we'll just load this puppy in place. Okay. Yeah, the better if I put a grounder, right? I don't even know if I loaded that one. It's fine. Okay. Alright, so we're welded in place. I think we're done with the welder. Now, she's as sturdy as can be. Hot, probably. So we'll now set those plates on, drill out the middle, and then we can set these in place. Alright, so let me get everything organized and I'll bring you guys back in a second. Yeah, we don't have plans when we're doing this kind of stuff. So you know what? I'm actually going to cut a small piece and just weld it here in the middle, which will give this, there's a small depth here, about 2 millimeters, or I guess 1/16 of an inch here. So something for this plate, these plates to rest on, so it becomes smooth and doesn't try to bow into the middle. So we'll cut off a small piece and weld that now, and that way when we drill it, we'll drill through it at one time. Okay, so I ended up, instead of cutting a small piece in the middle, I went ahead and cut up a larger piece, which I can now weld to both sides of the supports here. I'll grind it down, make it look pretty so it's all flush. And Okay, that's good enough for me. So I'll grind those down now, and that's obviously makes a lot of noise. So after I'm done grinding that down, I'll bring you guys back again. Give me a second here. I want to show you where I'm at now. So what's happened is I put this plate in place, but as you can see right here, that support is actually interfering with the exhaust port. So I'm now going to take this off. And yeah, one thing is worth noting is metal expands when it heats up. Yes, I tried to take that into consideration, but didn't do a very good job, obviously. So I'm going to take this apart now, grind that down, and then see how I'm going to line that up so that it's all in line. So try to figure that out. Okay, so we've taken the stand now, and I actually put the units in to see if they're straight, and one hole didn't line up, so I went ahead and just said, you know, this is not going to be traveling, so the 5 bolts should hold it plenty, and it's very sturdy, and ironically it's stable. So we'll leave it at that, and I'll put the 2 units in its place right now, and then we'll start it up. So I said start it up, but I meant to say show you. So this is what they look like. I'm still way off on this thing. So as you can see, it's just a simple stand, and that's what keeps the units together, so they'll be functioning in tandem. Alright, so let me secure those in place, and then I'll put it up in where it's going to temporarily reside for the winter. Okay, we're making slow progress, but steady progress. So this is what it now looks like on the stand, which looks like crap, but we're after functionality right now. So we need to find places for this. This is the fuel pump. There's one for each, so there's 2 of these. So the inlet for it is right here next to the combustion chamber. It's on both of them. So we have this one, we have that one here, there. Yeah, so that's the old one. You can see that one's already used. So we'll take just take a minute to, I think, here, because we also have a, let me see if I can find it. We need to find a battery pack for that thing here, or not battery pack, rather the power supply. Now these apparently, since they do have a glow plug, they don't necessarily consume a lot during operation, but they do consume a lot during the initial startup. So this one is a power supply that's I think I have it as a, oh, it's a 20 amp. Okay, 12 volt 20 amp. So that should be plenty. These things probably consume about 6 or 7 or 8 amps during startup, so we've got plenty of power for even both. I wasn't intending to start them both up simultaneously, but if need be, it can be done. So we need to find a place for this, and then of course the 2 fuel pumps. And let me show you the fuel tank itself is right here, right there. So that's the one we'll use. We'll use one for both, and I'll split it off in a Y. That's the fuel pump for the other one. So let me give this some thought, put that onto the spot, and we'll take a look at it when it's on the unit itself. So we'll put the pump on one side, so that way I can keep the fuel tank on the same side. And as we did with the previous, we'll just drill and tap the thing and use an M5 bolt with a washer to secure the pump in place. Nothing like dead video, right? Alright, here we go. So I already drilled the first hole, and then I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride. And then of course I forgot which one was the some oil. Yeah, this is not a very thick metal, so I think I actually used the wrong one first. Yeah, I went ahead and used the final cut bit first. Oh well. So this way now we can put the fuel pump in its place. The kit did come with self-tappers, but the self-tappers were too short. I'm assuming that's just to secure the unit to the body of, you know, these are technically meant to be like on RVs and stuff like that. All right, first one's in place. Now the second one, a little trickier because it has diesel in it, and that stuff stinks, so I don't like getting it around every place. So let me get the second one off here, and then we'll put that on the spot as well. Okay, bring you guys in for the second pump here. Yeah, it should be on the drill mode, right? Okay. And then the nice tap mode with the drill. All right, now the pump that I had, this is the old one, which you can see has the tube on it already, the fuel line. It actually had a grommet here inside the holder that keeps it, you know, the vibration dampener, at the same time the mount. But the new one didn't have it. I couldn't find it. I looked. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll just take it out, and I'm assuming, yeah, don't know how well that's going to hold up, but then again, this is not going to be something that's going to have too much movement, you know. It's just I don't even know I have this long of bolts. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, if I need be, I'll move that. So those are our pumps now in place, and I would hook this up. Let me show you what that looks like. I would hook them up now, but I decided that, well, not decided, so I'm going to hook this pump up to the old unit, and this is a new one, so that goes to that one. I'm actually going to clean the combustion chamber now. I've seen a few videos about how to do that, and quite frankly, I'm not going to disassemble it. I actually tried it once. Brake cleaner down the inlet and a bunch of brake cleaner into the combustion chamber, or rather the exhaust port here. Not the smartest probably, and I got the non-flammable kind, so I'm not worried about it blowing up when it tries to kick on. And it takes about 3 or 4 goes to get it going again, but once it's going, then there's no white smoke, so it works out pretty good. Okay, so we got the 2 pumps in its position, so now we're going to put the power supply here. Drill and tap for a 3mm, I hope. I can see. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then same as before, we'll use the drill method of tapping. Let's put a little bit of oil on here. Can't see, the light's glaring. Okay, that was the initial one, and then we'll use the final bit next. Okay, and let's get a couple short 3mm screws, and then of course I need to find the corresponding bit for that, and that would be this one. And I need to find the drill. There it is. Okay. Actually, yeah, we can just put this in. Yeah, when you want things to go right, they never seem to want to cooperate, do they? So I'm trying to fix that in there. Yep, there we go. Let's hold it like that. No, I can't see the hole, but okay, we'll just get that one started, and then we'll put the second one in. I would have liked to have the plug actually face downward, but that's alright. We're good with this one as well. Alright, get that out of my way so it goes straight. Okay, she is secure. And so is the second one. Great. That's not going anywhere. Okay, so now the next step will be to plumb it. I'll plumb it from here first, and then we'll do the electronics connected up, and then we'll put it in its place. I'll show you how that's going to work, and hopefully it'll heat up the garage. Alright, let's take this old line off. I'm not going to cut it yet because you never know. I might use it for something else. And oh, it smells so bad. Let's pour this diesel into the tank here. I poured it in the tank and I ended up spilling it all over. Alright, there we go. You know what, that was a waste of time. I actually just could have cut this one because I've got plenty, so we'll just do that all over again. Let's put him back, but at least I got rid of the diesel fuel. I was in it. Got a little clip here. Okay, and just run it like so. Want a little bit of flex in it because there is an exhaust that's going to be coming out from here, so we'll cut it there and just add it to that point. Get another. Okay, there it is. I guess I could have actually just left it like that as well, but oh, that's not the right clip. Let me find the right clip. Alright, this bag for the old one has all the larger clips. Let me find the bag for you. The new one, there we go. And like I mentioned, this I'm going to just use one tank, so I'll put the filter in line when we get to that point. You know, I actually have been running this for a few weeks without even this clip on it, but since we're doing it, might as well make it proper. Okay, that might touch, so I might just end up putting a small zip tie or something to keep it back. Let's pull off this other nozzle here. Let's get some more tube. And this one's going to go from here to here. Do I have some more clips? Yeah, I do. Awesome. Got 2 more clips. Or clamps, rather. You know, when you're playing outside, you say things that are different or wrong or what have you. You know, just don't worry about it. You know, we're just here to have fun. And put that one on top, like so. These clips are a bit looser than I was hoping. Now this one is going to cross 2 exhaust pipes, so I might we'll just let it flex like that for now, and if I need be, we'll figure out a way to tie those off. So for now, I'll just put it in like that. Okay. Okay, so fuel lines are finished, and then these will come out to a single feed in the future for now I don't have a Y to feed them, so what I'll do is I'll just dip it in the tank so at least we can see that they work. So let's go on now to the electronics. These come with a very simple control panel, and then this is wired to the unit itself, and then you have this connector Yeah, I made a mess when I was putting this. Okay, so this, alright, here we go. So this long wire is the power. So that's your plus, and look, they made a short minus, but they gave you a really long positive. That's nice. So this will be clicked here, and which is good because we're just going to connect it to the power supply here, and then this one goes to the clicker pumps, clackety pumps or whatever. And they gave a lot of line. I'm half tempted to just splice it, but again, I don't know how permanent this is going to be. For now, we'll just see how it works. So I'll just leave it, but I will cut the power line down to fit there. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, let me go ahead and show you. Now this has an inline fuse. I will put one in a little bit later, but for now we'll just tie it up to the power supply. Now the nice thing about these power supplies is that they're labeled on the top here, which actually is even hard for me to see, but so we have the inputs, and then we have the plus and minus for the output 12 volts. And the good thing is I have 3 lugs per, well, 3 lugs, 2 pairs in total, so I can put them on 2 separate connecting points, but I can't see the what that actually is. So let's grab our glasses and a very bright light and drop things around. And let me see here. Alright, so we got okay, so this is the 3 on the end are the plus. Sorry, the one before, so this is an adjustment. So I guess, yeah, you can actually put a potentiometer to control the output voltage, which we're not going to be using. So plus and minus. So the red will be coming into, the red will come here, and yeah, don't get old. You need different glasses to see things. All right. So we got one down, and then we'll zip tie it to make it look pretty here towards the, and yeah, this one I should have thought about that, but gave a little more room to, it's all good, just a little bit of finagling and get it all done. So these two are connected. Now this one goes to the clickety clackety pump, and this one being for the first unit, we'll put it on the old one, and that's located right here in the back side. I guess I should turn these to make them somewhat symmetrical, if I can. Yeah, there we go. And don't need to get that close anymore, so we go to the second one, and this one just slides right on, and there's a small spring-loaded clip. When you hear it click, you're set. So the first unit is actually up now, and this is the power supply, or sorry, the control panel. So once we hook up the power supply to mains, then this one is actually ready to go. So I'll hook up the second one in a similar fashion, and then we can do a test run. Okay, so they're both connected. It's the same. Just to make it a little bit more purdy, we'll just zip tie these things to stay out of the way. And yeah, this is the front here, so it sucks the air from the back and it will vent it towards the front of the camera. Oh, let's just zip tie these to make them look pretty. Silence. Is silence a noise? I don't know. That's a good question. Alright, that's there, and one more to just keep it up, huh? Let's do that. One more just to keep it up, and we'll double up on them so all connectors are now connected. And for giggles, we'll just put my hand in the middle just so it will look nice. Yeah, that looks pretty bad actually. What the heck? Oh, that makes all the difference when you clip them though, don't it? Alright. Okay, so now all we have left to do is to hook up the power cord, and then we'll put it in its place. And before I show you where its place is, I'll show you the exhaust system, and then we'll fire them up. Okay, we're actually done with all the electronics. I'll just show you real quick. So the live and neutral are coming in from here, so just to plug in to your standard outlet. I guess considering it's metal, it would be nice if I grounded this thing, but anyway, we'll do that later. Hopefully we won't touch and get shocked. So you see the two fuel pumps here, the mess of cabling here, the extremely long, you know, these clacker pumps can actually be put, I guess they recommend a certain distance, but at the end of the day, these are right next to it, and they have the things. There's, oh, I'd say good 6 or 7 feet of cable, so you can put that away a little bit. And then of course that comes down to the two control modules. Now we'll see that in a second, but what I wanted to show you now is how this is actually exhausted. So we have the old one, which is here, as you can see here, so in a nice cup. We'll just kick that out of the way. So the exhaust comes from the unit, and then I just use conduit. Now I'm going to be discussing this in a future video, but basically this thing is not very efficient, so meaning that it doesn't convert all the heat of the diesel into room heat. Anyway, so I'll get to that in a second. So as you can see, and then what I did was, with a couple of fittings, just made a 45 bend down and another 45 bend out, and I'll show you that in a second. And the reason I have that cardboard there is actually that pipe that gets pretty hot to the point where it could actually melt the seal that's underneath the garage door. So that we don't want to happen. But this is basically what it is. It's just a very simple exhaust thing. Let me show you from a different angle. And the good thing about this now is this length here actually supports the heating, because it radiates heat into the garage more. So actually, in a future project, my intention is to utilize a waste heat recovery, and I want to be able to take the power out of the the heat that's being lost into the exhaust, and convert it into potentially like a hot water heater, or even use it as a with a fan coil and have a secondary heating system, which I can maybe then build into the into the into this area here. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll see how we want to look at that. But now let me go ahead and put this in its place. I don't have conduit for the second unit now, but in order to test it, we'll just fire it up with the garage door open, and we'll look at that them together. Yeah, before we get to that, let me show you quickly. That's how it, because there's a step in my garage here, so it just, in order to drop down so it comes in level with the driveway, and then I use these couplings. Now, there's not a lot of pressure, and in order to minimize the back pressure, I did use a larger diameter here. Again, since this is technically, in my opinion, a temporary installation, I'm just going to deal with this, leave it like this, but in the future hopefully we'll be able to make it something more permanent with a better waste heat. And you know, this is the area where I spend most of the time anyway, so the whole idea is to heat this area more so. Okay, so let me set those up and we'll come right back. Okay, so they're now both in its location. I actually just turned the new one on. Now obviously it's got to prime itself, and I didn't go through the priming. I'll just turn it on and off a couple of times. I'm not going to run them both at the same time, like I said. And as you know, as I mentioned, right there you go, you hear the clickety clackety of the pump. As I mentioned, you see the exhaust. I don't have the exhaust yet on that anyway, but I just want to prime it now, and then we'll turn the other one on in a second, and then we'll see them both working at tandem with the garage door open, and we'll go from there. So give me a few seconds to get that all ready, and as you can see, it's clicking now. Is it sucking anything up? I really should read the instructions, but there's a way to prime it. So let me get this thing primed up, and then we'll look at it together. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start the new one up. It's just temporarily, like I said, until I get a Y. That should be plenty for both of them. So basically just push the start button. It has its own startup procedure. I'll let that one go for now, and then you'll see the plume of smoke, I hope, that comes out of the exhaust here in a second. And then of course I have the garage door open, and this is one negative part of these is you do have an exhaust. I give credit where credit is due. That propane heater, that does heat up very nice, so it does keep the garage very warm. I guess it's personal preference, and these units are very loud, so if I wanted to even do a recording in the background, it's you know, I have to turn them off. But you know, like I said, a lot of the times, you know, spending in the garage preparing and doing things, so it shouldn't be a problem. All right, so the pump just kicked in, and here in a second we should hear the yeah, we can hear it now. You hear it? There's a little bit. Yeah, it's not a very you know, the smoke is not very bright. Wow, that's great wording today. You don't really see the plume of smoke, but wow, right now I can smell it. It's like a diesel trucks and everything around the area. So the thing is working here. You know, it's coming on and off. There's a glow plug inside. That glow plug is what draws the first initial current, and I think you can hear it. It's ramping up, and there's an indicator here that shows the temperature of the combustion area. I don't want to say the combustion chamber, but I believe it's monitoring the temperature under this plastic so as not to melt the plastic. But it's not. It's a little warmer than normal, or rather than the ambient, but it's still not hot by no means. And like I said, this being a brand new unit, now it's starting to ramp up the fuel, and yeah, I think you can hear the volume, and it's coming up to temperature. Smell is incredible. Something I wouldn't recommend you spending a lot of time with. But today outside it's about, they said it's not going to get much more than 20 degrees. But you know, it's still working, so it's going to start ramping up in temperature as well. As soon as I feel like we're not using the glow plug anymore, I'll turn the other one on and show you how that looks as well. Oh yeah, it's starting to get hotter now, so there's 2 more bars once it gets through the red, and the temperature is warming up here on the exhaust quite nicely. And it like I said, the 2 of the units together, I mean, theoretically it's, you know, 50,000 BTUs. Again, I need to watch that video that was posted today, which I believe negates that. But like I said, a lot of this heat is lost in the exhaust. So the heat that you're gaining here is I don't know what the efficiency is, but I'm going to say it's not very, very high. So the unit is ramping down its fan, but it's still working. You know, there's a few settings that you need to get into here. Let me see where we're at. Okay, so this wasn't even, whoa, so you can see the smoke now coming out of the exhaust, and that happened when I ramped up the fan and fuel speed. I think the glow plug is off now, but it's not. Yeah, it's warm. Alright, let's go ahead and take the second one online now. Now the second one online is identical to the first one, although this one is losing temperature pretty quickly. I'm half tempted to say that I need to go in and play with the settings on that one. I wonder if we had a flame out. Oh wow, oh shoot. All right, yeah, you remember I said we don't want to have the diesel melt the well, there you go. Nothing like a good fire hazard in your garage. I actually didn't think it was touching, but it was touching the exhaust. I'm glad we caught that sooner than later. So that's all diesel that spilled out of the thing. So let me clean this up. The second one is now running. That one is not touching anything, I hope, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I clean this up before I blow something up. Okay, so we had what is called a flame out. Actually, the when when the tube melted, I thought this was silicone. It's not. So what I did was I zip tied it, as you can see right there, and pulled it away. from the where are you guys looking? From the exhaust, so it's not touching anymore. But what we had in the actual exhaust, it melted, as you can see right there. So the pump was pumping, but at the same time it was pushing a lot more air into the combustion chamber, so it actually caused the flame to flame out, to go out, and consequently, but apparently that's not monitored, or it's monitored very late. I noticed the temperature was going down, so when the temperature started going down, I immediately shut it down, and that's when I saw. But we can turn this one on. This one is the same. It should work since I'm just putting it back where it was, and you can see the diesel built up in the combustion chamber, and it actually did not ignite this time, and so it went to a shutdown. So now we got the second one spooled up, or rather in its starting mode, and we'll see how that one will take off here in a second. Okay, so the clickety clackety is started, and I actually had it running a second ago, but I shut it off because I didn't want to ignite so there's you can hear that it's the burning, the combustion chamber that comes out to here, and that's what that's where the smoke and exhaust goes out to. Yeah, there's still all this diesel is dripping out from the new one. So we'll try to start that one up in a second once the old one gets going. Now the old one is going fine now. It's coming up to temperature. Oh, they're both running. Okay, I didn't realize I had them both turned on. That's why that one is smoking. I was going, why is that smoking? All right, so now they're both operational, and the old one is just now coming to temp. So the new one is as you can see, the bars is coming up, and the old one is starting to come up. Let's see what the exhaust looks like. It's hard to see at this light what type of exhaust it has, but there's not a lot of smoke coming out of it yet, and hopefully there isn't going to, because I did do an adjustment on that. Alright, well, at least, okay, now we're up to one of the operating temperatures. Oops. And this one is slowly coming up still. Yeah, so the combustion seems to be pretty decent. There's not a lot of smoke. If there's a lot of white smoke, then we would be having too much fuel, and if there's not enough oxygen, then we'll have an incomplete combustion. So we're up to the full in terms of what the control system is saying. It's nice and toasty here, and the second one is coming up as well. Yeah, this looks very shady, but trust me, it's, once I plumb that in properly, then this is all self-contained, so there's no risk of it actually catching on fire. I mean, I've been using it for a little over a few years now. I'm sorry, a little bit over a year now, and nothing's caused trouble, except, like I said, it doesn't heat up the garage as quickly as I'd like it to. Yeah, it sounds like we got a couple of jet engines in the garage, which I enjoy. So now the second one is coming up to temperature and speed. Oh yeah, nice and toasty. My legs are getting warmer. And let's just see what the temperature reading is. So right now the 106, 100, ish. And this one is, it's still not up to temperature, but it's getting there. Now just to comparison, I'll just shoot this one here. And you can see that it's also at 100 and some odd temperature. It's hard to get a reading, but this actually gets up to 200 degrees. And here's the other one, which is already at 88. So they're both operating. When this thing settles down in its regime, it'll that exhaust temperature will be up into the 200 degrees mark. Now this long pipe is good because it cools it down quite a bit before it gets to the garage, but it also helps heat the garage up a little bit as well. But that's the noise it makes. It's not the most pleasant noise, but we deal with that. And obviously I don't want to shut the garage door down because of the exhaust. That'll be connected here in the next couple of days, and I might do a quick follow-up just to show you. But yeah, the old one, as you can see, it's operational, and there's not a lot of smoke coming out of the. So, all right, so I'll shut it off now, and maybe bring it back in a second when everything settles down and we can look at the temperatures one more time. Well, I want to thank you all for hanging out again with me today. I just realized when I played back some of the videos that the transitions were pretty bad, meaning that I used the same word over and over again. Okay, so I'll try to cut back on that, as well as try to make the transitions a bit smoother. But in order to get this video out now, I'm just going to go ahead and upload it for you all to at least see what I did, since it's already done. Next time I'll try to make the videos more smooth and the transitions a little bit better. I didn't think you would be interested in just watching a bunch of cutting and trying to get things put in order to get the video moving. That sound you hear in the background is the heater that I just shut down it's in its cooling stage. So it is a loud unit, and with the two of them in conjunction with each other, they whine. It's not for everybody, I don't think, but I find it it suits me well. It's heating up a garage is pretty much very low on the list of things to do, and I figured that economically speaking, it's a good solution. I mean, the 10-liter container that it comes with, it lasts about 4 days at full, about 6 hours a day, and that could fill up for about $7.50. So I think it's for what it does pretty good. And like I said, that other videos by Dylan McCool, I think it's McCool, he does a very in-depth shutdown. So now you can hear just the spool down is even pretty loud. But I wanted to get this video out primarily because it's cold, and I needed to get this done so I can continue working out in the garage in these sub-zero temperatures, Celsius sub-zero. So we're still in the teens and 20s in the Fahrenheit scale, but minus in the Celsius scale. So I did make a kind of a promise that the next video is going to be the fidget toy. I'm going to start working on that now. Like I said, I want to heat the garage up first, so we'll get that out, and I hope you guys will join me. And thank you very much for hanging with Biggie. Hope to see you all soon. Thank you, and bye bye. Just a quick follow-up. So this is the unit, well, the units running together. I am running it off of a single outlet from the fuel tank, and I did make a Y. From a big box store, I had to use a couple of brass fittings and a T, but it worked out good. This is the volume. It's running now about 50%, and the reason is because it really did heat up the garage pretty good. So 74.7 in the garage area, and as you can see, I ran the second exhaust exactly the same as the first one. Just used it all the exact same way, and it just exits the garage door. Outside is about 41 degrees right now. And there's a gap under the garage, so I guess even if we were to seal that off a little bit better, we might even get a little bit more efficiency off of it. Okay, that's the quick update. Thanks again for hanging out. Talk to you guys soon.